You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hella Well with Danielle podcast. I am your host, Danielle Washington. If you don't know who I am a Reiki master. I am a person who does guided meditations. I am someone who loves just helping other women of color take time to breathe and heal and really creating this wellness revolution so we know that we matter and we take care of ourselves. I am super, I say this all the time, but this is one of those days where we're in the midst of Black History Month. This is the second week in Black History Month. And last week we talked about music and how music is medicine. And this week is all about dancing. Again, I said it before, music is my first love, but dancing is my mistress. And I hella love my mistress. She is so bomb. Sometimes when I just dance, I feel like I'm being transported into some spiritual trance. And it just moves me. And that's when I get downloads and I just lose myself. I think that's one of the things I miss the most about COVID is being in a space where you can just freely move. And the music just, dancing is just a way to really express yourself. And that's the point where I love that there's even this thing called dance therapy that's literally about utilizing dance as a form of therapy, getting your unconscious thoughts out. And if you look at people who do lyrical dancing and dancing to the lyrics of songs, or just move their body to the feelings of whatever the emotions they're feeling, it's just beautiful. And it is a great way that, again, our people have been using dance in so many different ways as a way to heal. And my guest today, Dr. Rennes Toussaint-Keshinro, I'm probably botching her last name, so I apologize, is a doctor of chiropractor and mental wellness coach, but she is so much more than that. What I love about her is that, she's a fellow traveler, so you'll hear some travel stuff on today's episode. But she spent 3 years in Central America away from everyone she loved, like me. And that's something so much of what I did, but what for her and for me, that opened the door to her self-love and her healing. And that's actually where she began using dance for her mental health. And she created, Dance for Mental Health, which encourages women who are suffering in silence to discover their identity, their voice, and take back their power. And she understands the connection of physical and mental body and why they should not be looked at separately, which again goes back to that whole thing of dance therapy. And so I can't wait for this episode. You're also going to hear a little bit more about us creating this dance challenge. More details to come because it was like, oh, let's do this. And I'm like, oh, wait, this week. Let's figure out how we're going to do this. But we are going to be doing a dance challenge where every day for 5 minutes, we're going to encourage you to just move your body. Move your body. Dancing is so healing, and again, I look at my childhood and I think of the WAP and the Cabbage Patch. And then you move forward to, the Nene. And then of course we have the electric slide and Cupid Shuffle. Ain't no one ever been mad when doing the Cupid Shuffle. So think about that. If you ever question dancing being a form of healing, ain't no one ever mad doing the Cupid Shuffle. I've never seen someone stomping up, angry face, upset, in tears, crying, doing the Cupid Shuffle. No, we're happy. Dancing is a way to lift your moods, and it's a great way to reduce stress. It's great for self-esteem. It's great for focus. It's great for self-awareness. It's great for reducing anxiety. Dance is amazing. So sit back, relax, dance while you're listening to this, and enjoy the episode. Love you. Thank you, Dr. Rennes, for joining me on the Hella Well with Danielle podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me. I am wonderful.
I love it. Oh my God. I have been, ever since found out that you were doing dance and using it as a form of therapy and healing, I've wanted you on the show. So I'm just thrilled that you're here because dancing is my everything. I always tell people music is my first love, dancing with my mistress, but honey, I love my mistress.
That's a very good mistress to have.
Yes, she is.
Sure. She has.
So how did you even get into You know, let me backtrack the story. Like, I feel like as a culture, and especially this being Black History Month, dancing has just been a part of our culture. It's been, even when we don't know it unconsciously, our ancestors have been using dance as a form of healing for so many years. How did you get into actually really organizing to where you're using dance as a form of therapy?
Well, it started on my own personal journey, and dancing, like you said, dancing is maybe not my mistress, it's my main. And I always loved dancing, but it wasn't until that I found myself in a really dark place that it was just natural. I turned on the music and I started dancing. I was like, wait a minute, you know, when we were younger, we went out, we partied, we had a good time. It felt good for the moment, but turning on the music at home, in my own private space and dancing, and it feels good. I said, there is something about dancing that we don't talk about this. And it was
Yeah.
so therapeutic for me. That's how it started, because I used it on myself and I was like, I have to share this.
I love it. Now, what kind of different dances do you do? Like backgrounds?
I don't have a dance background. I don't have a professional dance background
So
at
but you've taken
all.
classes at all or no?
At all.
I love it.
I'm a free spirit dancer. Even in my classes, I tell people, you don't have to keep up with me. You don't have to do every single dance. Just move your body. Like dancing is a form of expression, right? How we express ourselves. So the most important thing is that you feel it and you just let your body go. Let your body be free and move. I tell everybody, I cannot do an 8 count dance choreography to save my entire life. I have tried taking dance classes before and it's just not me. It may work for somebody else, but for me, I like high energy music, and that's what moves me.
Yes, I love it. So I am the girl who loves the 8 count classes. I have taken, so I really fell, well, I've always loved dance. And it's funny, like when I was a child, my parents basically made a choice. Either you stick with these dance classes you started taking randomly, or you stick with soccer. You're too busy. We can't have you do both. And so I had to choose, and I really love dance. But I was in middle school by this time, and I was in a proper dance school, and everyone was really young compared to me. And though I still got the lead, I'm gonna dust my shoulders off on that lead moment. But it was like, do I really want to be with kids that are younger than me for a really long time? Or do I really want to give up soccer? And I played soccer for 13 years. So, long story short, I chose soccer, but I regretted it until I found and discovered salsa.
Ooh.
And I discovered salsa in the most craziest things. I was living in DC at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin was coming to visit me, and we went to, we went to Adams Morgan, went to this club, and they were playing salsa music. I'm like, cool, great music. We love music, love, good food, good drinks. And so some guy asked us to dance, and I was just like some older guy
Mm-hmm.
who, older guy, they was a little bit on the large side. And I'm like, oh, Lord, this is not going to be good. I'm like, I don't dance. I don't know salsa. He's like, don't worry. Just follow me. You'll be fine. And I'm like, he takes us on the dance floor one by one. And I'm like, I'm doing all these moves. And I'm like, you would think I was like some J-Lo or someone. I don't know who I can think of. I don't know why I thought J-Lo, but whatever. Um, and that's what started my love. And so it kind of went from there to learning about Cuban salsa, which is where I started wanting to actually even go to Cuba. And then went from there to rumba, to samba, a little bit samba. I'm horrible at samba. Then to Afro Brazilian, to Vogue dancing, belly dancing, and then to tango. Oh, tango is the tango. I get lost in tango, and then also I did, like, what was it? Congolese dancing as well. Yeah.
So would you like to come over and teach a class for me?
Oh my God. I don't know if I can
Out
teach
there.
anything.
I'm gonna throw that out there. But a few things. I love that you mentioned that dancing was an option for you. I'm from the Caribbean, and when we migrated to the U.S., it was education or nothing.
Yeah.
I did play sports, but it was just the idea was playing sports to get into college. I would never think in a million years. I got a bachelor's degree. I went on and got a doctorate degree that I will turn around and dancing be my passion right now. Like it's crazy to me, but I didn't have that option to like, hey, join, a dance class, join a dance program to learn
Yeah.
a particular dance. I didn't have that option. But I did. I love salsa. I did do some salsa when I lived in Miami. I lived in Peru, so I took some classes there. I forgot about that. And when I went to Ghana, I spent 3 months in Ghana. I think that's what brought back that love, that true love of dancing to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
And you make a good point that, a lot of people didn't have, especially in the Black and Brown communities,
Mm-hmm.
the option to take dance classes. They weren't always readily made available. And, unfortunately, the arts is one of the first things to go when you're looking at budget cuts. So
Yeah.
I was grateful to have that experience, even though short lived. But, if you think about it, and that's one reason why I wanted this, we've been using dance as a form of healing and joy for years. Like, you hear that Cupid shuffle, and we all run to like, we all know what's up, and you're happy. Ain't no one hears a song and be like, life is horrible. Life is ending. I heard the Cupid shuffle. It is over. No, it's like there's this Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. Like,
Same here.
love Dave Chappelle. So I don't know if you saw the episode he does with John Mayer. Okay, so he does this episode with John Mayer, and he talks about how different people move to music. And he's like, he was doing this experiment. He's like, there's this phenomena that white people, when they hear electric guitar, they just lose their shit. And then, Latin people are, I think it was the piano, organ, and something else. And then he's like, Black people, it's the drums. And I'm just like, and he goes into different places, and you just see them like all of a sudden, like losing their shit on the certain music that he was talking about. But like, he has the electric guitar playing in like a Black barber shop, and they're like, can you turn that shit down? But then when they played the drums, they have the guy from Roots, Questlove from the Roots, and they're like, yes, that's my song. And I'm like, and me watching this, I'm like, when the drum starts hitting, I'm like, that is it. And I honestly believe that that's ancestral.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, when I went to Ghana, just being around that music, now that's basically all I listen to, right? Afrobeat,
Yeah.
going to lie. My family always makes this joke that I could hear a beat, just drums, and I'll be moving. I was like, yes. That's one of the things I believe that we brought over that stayed with us with the music. And music and dance is universal, like you said. Like when you're dancing, who could be mad when they're dancing,
Yeah.
right? It brings us joy. So I really do believe back in the days, our ancestors, they were using that as a form of their own healing to get through the difficult times. So, yeah.
And we did it during slavery times too. I mean, like, a lot of times you look at, places that were colonized, even in the Caribbean as well, they use dance as a form of message. They use dance as a form of kind of rebellion to kind of keep their culture. And they did it in secret. And so it has been something that we have used, but it's also something that's been used against us to be like, we want to strip you from your ancestry, your who you are. We're going to take this dance thing from you because we know how important it is for you. And that's why I really want people to kind of go back into that living of the ancestral way of using dance as a form of healing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For example, Carnival, everyone they're familiar with Carnival in the Caribbean. Like
Yeah.
last year and this year would be the first time Trinidad, who had the biggest carnival in the entire
Mm-hmm.
world, they're not having carnival this year. So a lot of people are suffering. A lot of people, they're in sorrow about it. If you don't understand the culture, you might think, oh, what's the big deal? It's just a party. But no, it's been going on for years. It's a tradition. People look forward to what's that time. It's more than just putting on a costume and looking cute, and shaking your behind. It's part of our healing. It's part of what we need. So yeah, it's really been tough just seeing everyone talking about seeing and hearing everyone talking about not having that experience this year. Like, what can we do?
Yeah. And, it sucks because for me, when I'm stressed out or something's going on in my life and I'm just upset, I will literally take a dance break. And it may be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe longer, but I will literally take a dance break. So for me, when I'm dancing and I'm fine dancing in front of other people, I think I'm a little bit more still self conscious. And that's why I'm like, oh, I got to get these 8 counts down properly. But when I'm by myself, I just let it go, let it flow. And I get into a spiritual trance. It almost feels like I'm in church because the healing, and it could be any type of music. It could be gospel, it could be hip hop, it could be Italian music, it could be just anything that just kind of puts me in a zone, which changes my mind. And like, so one of my questions is for you is I mean, I don't know if, from the scientific moment, like why does dance work for us?
Well, dance, I like to say, it's not really specific just to dancing, even though I feel that dancing is my exercise of choice. But when we move, there are feel-good hormones that releases. And when we do any type of movement, but who wants to run and who wants to do burpees?
No, that's right. Who wants to run? Not I.
I mean, not saying we shouldn't, we should, but there's we are creating more of that feel good hormones when we move our body, and then it's reducing the stress producing hormones. So what that causes us to is increase our self-confidence, self-esteem. It stimulates our brain, and also it decreases anxiety and depression, because when you're dancing, you're in the moment. The thing that causes a lot of anxiety, because we're worried about everything that's going on, we worry about what we're going to do tomorrow, we worry about the future. But when you're dancing, and I like to think of having an intention when you dance, that would make a huge difference, right? Have an intention when you dance. So you like, what is your goal for dancing? Another thing is, I like to, with my classes, I like to also focus in on breathing, because breathing helps us also to stay centered and stay in the moment. Even when we're exercising, we're supposed to breathe. Let's don't do that. So just breathing and staying in the moment, it just helps our mental space tremendously.
I love it. And so can you talk a little bit about the classes that you offer and kind of how they're different? So I love the fact that it's not structured, because I think that's one thing that stops people from taking a dance class. They're like, I don't want to do something that's structured and I don't think I'm going to get the counts right. And so talk about what you do and how it benefits your clients.
Yes, so I get that all the time. Like, people see my videos, like, oh my God, I wish I could dance like you. Like, you don't have to dance like me, right? Everybody could dance. Our bodies are made to move, right? We're supposed to move our bodies. That's what it's made to do. So in the classes, I like to start, what do you want to get out of being here today, right? What is your focus? What are you worried about? What goals do you want to achieve? And then we go through breathing and just being in the moment and getting centered, and just play the music, and we literally just dance. Like, that energy. I did one, it's so funny because I did my first live class before the pandemic hit. And it was like electrifying. Just being in a room with a group of women, it was amazing. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh. And being part of our P2P program, the clarity coach, Jatia Jones, I'll never forget, she was the one who encouraged me, like, hey, everyone is home, everyone is losing their minds, you should maybe think about, bringing your class online. And I was against it. I was like, it's not the same. I want to be in the same room. Like, I'm a touchy person. I like to give hugs,
Yeah.
and touch is a form of healing, right? So I did it. I took the chance. I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw it up online. And I did. And the energy was just the same. It's on Zoom. So just seeing everyone move, and it just gave me the energy to continue. And it's a beautiful experience.
And that's one of the things that, good old COVID, changing the world one dance move at a time. That was one of the things I was thinking I would miss the most about my travel, because what I do when I travel is I love dancing. I love going to clubs. I love, if I'm learning some, local dance, like when I was in Bali, it was in Bali. In Bali, I learned, traditional Balinese dancing. When I was in Cuba, of course, we did salsa. And in different places, I always go and try to take dance classes one way or another, or learn something. But I love clubbing. And the one thing I love about being in a club or going to listen to live music where you're still dancing is that energy. And I feel like there's something collective about the energy that helps kind of puts you in a better mood, and it helps reduce stress in so many different things. And so that's one thing I hate. And well, there's one of many things why I can't stand COVID.
Yes, dislike. Hate is a strong word, but dislike. Yeah, so when I lived in Peru, also, like you said, when you travel, you go to clubs, and that also helps you connect with the culture, right?
Yeah.
The locals love to see us foreigners, dancing to the music, and it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, it truly is. So I know you talked about, it can help with anxiety and a couple of different things. What are other benefits of dancing, using dance as a form of healing?
The benefit of using dance as a healing is it's available to you at any time, anywhere.
Facts.
You don't have to pick up the phone. You don't have to make an appointment. You literally turn on the music in your own space and you move, right? You just allow your body to do what it's supposed to do. And it really does help your confidence. So I did a 5-day challenge of getting up every morning, writing down something that you want to get done for the day, and just dance for 5 minutes. The 5-day challenge is for 5 minutes in the morning. And the feedback I got was like amazing. Like, I had a nurse who, she was suffering from high anxiety. That was in the middle of COVID. And she was like, this is so good. She actually took it to her office and had her staff dancing every morning before they get their day started. It gives you energy. That's one of the things that I needed the most, because I had symptoms of anxiety and depression, and sometimes your energy is just low. And when you dance, it just builds that energy back up. And I just love it.
I love that. And I know that, even using dance I know that, studies have been shown and dance has been used to help people who have emotional trauma. Like, I don't know if you know any more information about that or not.
Specifically for emotional trauma?
So, like, I know that, like, studies have shown, like, the healing power of dance and how it has helped people who have had grief, loss, or some form of trauma to be able to use their body to tell the story and to work through it. And I just feel like that's such a beautiful way when people are dealing with emotional trauma. Like, yes, you have your normal typical therapy, in which I'm not saying not to do that as well, but like, if dance, especially for people the Black and Brown community, is so innate in you, and that might be a way to really help you through such a traumatic moment like that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like earlier I said, dancing is an expression of self. So, well, not everyone is verbal. Not everyone wants to speak about their trauma. Some people write about it, for example.
Yeah.
So there you go with dance, movement, and your healing, remember, it's just for you, right? You're not putting on a performance. You're not dancing for anybody else. It's for you. So once you move, you know the story. You feel all the emotions. So Yeah, I truly believe that is amazing way to cope with emotional trauma. It's one way, because with our society and when we talk about mental health and things like that, we always think it's just one way. I need to go talk to a therapist. And a lot of people, and I'm an advocate for therapy. I still have a therapist, right? But people, once they think that, oh, therapy is the only way, some people are kind of resistant to that, right? Maybe they had a bad experience, or maybe they don't believe in going to therapy. But I truly believe you don't need a diagnosis to know that something is off, right? And
Yeah.
we don't need a diagnosis. So once you feel it in your body, you know what's going on in your life. Once you're honest, the key is being honest with yourself, right? And you're honest, and you know that something is not right, then venture out, see what's out there. There's so many different types of feeling. Not only dancing, writing, Reiki, yoga, meditation. There's so many different types of healing. So I want people to just be open to different types and just do what works for you, right? It's just not, there's not one way to healing for everybody. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah, and I love that. But also the fact is there's also not one size and one type of dancing that fits all. Like there are so many different types of dancing, like I was talking earlier, that for me, I just found healing through different types of dancing. And one of the dancing types that really helped me the most was Vogue dancing, which, definitely rooted in our communities. And it was just a freedom of expression. And at first I felt so silly. I'm like, oh, I don't think I have this. I don't think I look cute. Like, I don't know if I can do some of these things. And then I had the most amazing teacher here in San Francisco, who, just had a way of teaching it that when I would take these classes, I just felt free and I felt empowered. And it literally was my church. I would go every Monday, and it would be my time to express that I am powerful. I am wanted. I am loved. I am in a safe community. And I just love Vogue dancing.
Yes, all those affirmations. And we could push those affirmations through a movement. Say it with our body.
It is so beautiful. And one thing I love is so much of what you're doing, and I don't know if you call what you're doing ecstatic dancing, but like, where was I? So going to Burning Man, I'm a burner. People don't always know that about me, but I'm a burner. I go to Burning Man and I love it. And I miss Burning Man as well. But, going to Burning Man, or, when I was in Bali, I did this ecstatic dance. And ecstatic dance, the way I would describe, is just people like playing music and they're just freely moving. And I remember the first time going and doing this, and I was hella judgy. I'm not even gonna front. I was like judging to the fullest. I was just like watching people because, I was probably one of the very few, I can count on my hand, people of color that were in the room. And there are a lot of wonderful people there. And I'm not saying anything wrong, but I was just like, oh my God, you're not on beat, sis. Like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like, where's this movement coming from? Like, how are you getting that with that beat and that, whatever? And once I was there for a second, I'm like, why are you judging? Because one thing I could say, everyone looked happy. Everyone looked just joyful, except for me, because I was in my judgment space until I was like, okay, let's stop judging and join the group. And I just zoned. And it was just, I found myself moving in very tribal ways that I don't think I had moved before. And I was just like, it just got me into the zone. And like, I love that free form dancing. And again, I love that you can just do it on your own and it doesn't cost a thing.
It's so funny you mentioned that, because when you were judging others, you were holding yourself back.
Yeah.
When you said, hey, they're having fun, then you set yourself free, right? So, yes, I just like the freedom, the just free flowing dancing, right? Because sometimes the structure is not for, like you said, it's not for everybody, right? Some people may prefer a more structured dance. But for me, what works for me, and I'm not trying to get away from what works for me to please other people, right? It's just be you and just let the music move you.
So what kind of music moves you? Like what are your sometimes go-to songs like this is when I'm going to rock out and just have a good old dance party?
I'm Caribbean, so first and foremost, I love me a good reggae. Bob Marley is my artist. Favorite
Yes.
artist. So his birthday's coming up this week, so is mine. May his soul rest in peace. I love Bob Marley, reggae, soca music is my energy music for life, Afrobeat. And then, I love a good old hip hop and a good old R&B. You gotta switch the mood up, right?
Oh, definitely.
So sometimes you want to just sing your lungs out, or be calm and probably do some meditation music or something like that. But
I love it. So one of the questions I want to ask you is, I know that you have some dance classes coming up soon. Like, how can people find out about the classes? How can they follow you as well?
okay, so you guys can follow me on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram at Dr. Dr. Rennes. So Dr.Rennes. I'll be having monthly classes. You guys will find out about it on Instagram, and also have a membership coming up later in the year. To not only, it's going to be a dance membership program, but we're focusing on going deeper and how we feel, how to deal with your negative emotions, and use dance as a way of releasing those negative emotions.
And that's so important because right now, I mean, like we're in a new year, and I get that, most of us are like, okay, we left everything negative in 2020, but life is still, there's always ups and downs. And dancing is just a free method for many of us to just change our mindset in a short moment. It's a way to reduce stress, anxiety, to focus and be in the moment, be in the present. Oftentimes, we're so busy on that hamster wheel of life, going, going, going in our thought processes that we're thinking about the future, we're thinking about the past, we're thinking about all these different things. But the moment that we're in right this second in dance, as Dr. Rennes said, puts us in that space. So I love, love, love what you're doing. And I'm so grateful. And girl, just believe you will see me there in my little outfit. Cause of course I always feel like you have the cute, I feel like, I don't know why. And even though I do dance on my own, I just feel like when you're dancing, you just need to have an outfit. It helps kind of boost the mood.
Yeah, of course. Like just dressing up always helps your mood. So yes, I'll be looking forward to you joining me. It'll be fun. And still, you have to take me up on my offer to teach one of your specialties.
Teach one of the classes. It's funny, like,
I know.
so when I used to go to gyms, I didn't really, I would like walk past all the tools. I don't know what they're called, like machines and stuff. Cause I'm like, I'm not a machine girl. I mean, like it can be because I ran track and so you were forced to do all that stuff. But I would beeline towards the classes. I'm like, okay, what kind of classes? We got a Zumba class. We got a hip hop class. I'm like, hip hop and I were not besties. I'm like, that shit's hard. Okay, I don't know what people who take it. I give props to people who take hip hop classes because I find those to be so freaking hard. Like the steps are just a little bit too intricate for me.
I almost never have hip hop class songs in my class. So
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, it didn't work, but there's something about taking a dance class. And so maybe I might take you up on this. Well, what I think I'm going to take you up on is doing a dance challenge, like having everyone, and we're just do this right now. If you're listening, I'm just going to do it right now.
Let's do it.
Starting tomorrow, we are going to do a 5-day dance challenge. So make sure that you're following us on Instagram. Hello, well with Danielle. That is right. I didn't think about that. And we're going to do a dance break. We're going to do a dance break every single day. I don't know what time, so I'll give you the information on Monday. But we're going to do a dance break, and we're going to party, and we're going to celebrate, and we're going to bring in joy every single day because life is short. And it's time to live in the moment. And the best way to live in the moment is to be dancing.
Yes, and celebrate you. Celebrate every single day. Gratitude. All those things I include in my dancing, right? Especially gratitude.
Yeah. I wake up every morning and I dance. I wake up every morning, I listen to a certain song that's like kind of my meditation song. It's actually Lundrell, who one day I will have on this podcast because I love him. But like, so he does a song, or it's a song or meditation. I don't know how to really explain what it is, but it's beautiful. It's called Gratitude. So I listen to that. And then I go into the layabouts and then a song called Bring Me Joy. Honey, when that song comes on, don't get it twisted. I move out the way because I'm about to move my body. That and a couple other songs. There's a couple of hip hop songs that I'm like, oh, I've just lost everything. I remember being at a conference one day, and the song came on that I just danced. I think it was like "Back That Thing Up." I don't know why. That's one of my
Okay.
songs. And it came on, and I just kind of lost it because I am known to drop it like it's hot at any point. And I'm like, oh, all I know is I did it. And I turn around and I see my business coach looking at me like, girl, you done lost your mind. I was like, sorry, you shouldn't play certain songs and think that I'm not going to move. I'm just sorry, not sorry.
Money 99 and 2000. Yes, that sounds.
It just happens. I'm like, my friends know if certain songs come on, especially like Too Short and like, oh God, I'm from California. It's a wrap.
You can't even help it. Your body just goes. Has that memory, muscle memory when those songs come on.
So yeah, so we will be doing either a 5-day or 7-day. I figure this out. We're going to do a 7-day dance challenge because I want you guys moving and knowing that this is a easy and free form of therapy and healing that is available to you right the second, at any hour, at any country, at any point in time in your life.
Yes, absolutely. I hope you guys join us. Make sure before you dance, you want to have an intention behind for the day. What do you want to do for the day? Or have a power statement like, I'm confident. Today, I am confident. Today, I am bold, right? Whatever, have some type of intention or a power statement for the day, and just turn on the music and get to it. We're looking for, and make sure you guys let us know your, give us some reviews at the end. Share your wins at the end of the week, how you feel. And yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for doing it, Miguel. Thanks for putting it out there.
I love this. So make sure that we have you on here dancing as well. So we make sure that we're going to coordinate this. I'm super excited about this. And so at the end of every show, I always ask people quick fire questions. So whatever comes to mind, just whatever answer, whatever it is.
Okay.
So you're ready?
Ready.
Okay. So the first question is, what does living hella well mean to you?
Oh, just knowing who I am and being true to myself. That's wellness for me. Yeah. Living hella well. Like, yeah, I'll stick with that.
I love it. Aisle or window?
Oh, always. Well, I can't say always. I used to be always window, but my bladder got pretty bad.
I've been there. So is that an age thing? Because I'm really confused. I didn't used to have that problem, and now it's like since worse.
I used to always like no aisles, but now if I'm flying more than 5 hours, I'm definitely taking the aisle seat.
Love that. Plus, you seem tall, so I would think that would help you.
Yes, I'm 5'9".
Yeah, dream, to dream. I'm still eating ice cream, hoping one day. What is always in your travel bag?
Oh,
that's an important thing to have.
Yeah, my phone. At least I always say if I have my phone and my wallet, everything else is replaceable. And my glasses. I need my glasses or my contacts. I need to see.
Yep, no, those are all very important things because I have lost my phone, or let me phrase that. I've had my phone stolen on a trip. And that is one of the hardest experiences to have because you're like, oh my God. Especially when it was the time I was a little bit addicted to my phone. So I was like, I can't take pictures. I can't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't have my Google Maps. I'm like, this really blows.
Because we live in this world, if you don't post it, it never really happens, right? I used to be like,
Yeah, I used to be like that, and then I went off the face of the earth in Bali for several months, and got off of social media, email, and everything else. And then I'm like, oh my god, I love being detached. I love like social media detoxing. I think if I didn't have a business, I probably would never be on social media.
I am just coming back from a social media detox. Actually, I came back last week. So, yes, I try to do it regularly, at least once a year, take a week off at least. But, and sometimes when I travel, especially my husband and I, we say, okay, no phones, no social media. And when we get back, if we want, we'll post things so we could just stay present and feel the moment and enjoy ourselves.
No, I think that's important. What I've done more because it's still as a business, I'm always, there's some form of social media I typically need to do. But what I'll do is I'll schedule it out like, okay, I'm giving myself this amount of time to do social media. And whether it's, 20 minutes or hour or whatever. And then I'm like, no more. The rest of the trip is mine. It is what it is. And if I didn't capture it, it didn't need to be captured because this trip is not for other people. It's for me. So I love when people really focus in on being present in their travel because you miss out on so much.
No. So I have a question for you. What is your
Okay.
next
I'm like, I wasn't expecting a question. Go for it.
When is your next retreat? Do you do a retreat?
I do. So I also have a business called Rogue Experiences, as well as, the Hello Well with Danielle brand. And I used to, oh my God, rest in peace 2020. 2020 was about to be lit. I had a trip to Bali. I had a trip to Colombia. Oh, this is all that was canceled. So I had a trip to Bali planned, Colombia, Napa. We were going to go somewhere else, Turks and Caicos. I was going to do my first couples trip to Turks and Caicos. I was going to do a girls trip to Turks and Caicos. And there was a couple other trips in the end of the year. And it all got washed out. I haven't done anything. So I was thinking about doing a trip in July for Turks and Caicos for women. It was going to be smaller. But what's going on now and looking at the travel, world right now and, closing off the Caribbean and Mexico, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that anything's going to be happening in July. But I am planning for something for sure in Africa in October, beginning of October. I am looking at planning a trip to Morocco.
Yes, that's awesome. So you mentioned Bali. My honeymoon was supposed to be in Bali last year. My wedding was supposed to be in Mexico last year. And yes, everything got pushed back to this year. The wedding is supposed to still happen in August in Mexico. So we just gonna make this up to God.
Yeah, no, it sucks. I mean, Bali, you will get there. I'm manifesting right now. You will get there. And I definitely encourage you to take a Balinese traditional dancing class because those were so much fun. But I love Bali. It's funny. The first time I went to Bali, I hated it. I'm like, I don't know what the hype is about this place. This place is whack. And then I went back and it honestly changed my life.
So you
It
probably went
literally
before the
changed my
hype,
life.
right? You went before the hype of Bali because the last couple of years it became really popular. You went before that?
Yeah, and so I did go in the midst of the hype, but I would say that what people, how would I say this? There still are places you can go in Bali. Like Cedaman is what, Ubud used to be. A lot of people go to Ubud, and Ubud feels like I'm walking down the street and I'm like, is everyone speaking English? I think everyone speaks English here. Not that they speak English, I'm sorry. Is everyone American or, non-Balinese, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Though don't get it wrong, I still love Ubud. Like I love going to yoga barn, and I've had so many great experiences in Ubud. However, places like Cedaman, where there is not much to do, but it is one of the most beautiful places, and it's really where for me, I had 6 people die on me in 1 year, and I didn't realize I was grieving. And I went there to kind of just self care myself together and heal. And my game plan didn't work because the land and the beauty of everything just kind of took me another path. And I just love being in like smaller places in Bali. And then you get out to other parts of Indonesia. It's a beautiful place.
I love that. Yeah, when I travel too, I like being away from the touristy area. I like to do locals. That's where you really get the experience. So I definitely can relate to that for sure. So I'm gonna need your recommendations when I go to Bali.
Yep, I'm definitely will give you some recommendations. But yeah, no, I definitely will be doing something in October in Morocco. I'm super excited about Morocco. Morocco is going to be fire. And I feel like by October we'll be able to travel. I've thought about doing something in the stateside, like at a cabin somewhere, but I'm like, I don't know. Because even coming to San Francisco, like San Francisco right now in LA, you still have a 10-day quarantine for, non-essential incoming flights. So it's like, I don't see people wanting to come out to, somewhere here. And I also don't want to risk people getting sick because that would be the worst thing. And so I've been really cautious. I know other people are planning trips and I rock on for them. But for me, I don't want to plan anything until I feel confident enough to where I can make sure that I've done my best to make sure no one gets sick and that it's safe as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's a huge responsibility. But I'm excited. Maybe in the summertime, things will get better. I'm hoping, I'm praying. Girl, I need to get out.
Yeah, now I feel you.
To get out. America all last year. My last trip was 2019. Summer.
Yeah.
So.
No, the only way I can say that I went somewhere in 2020, though I had trips planned. I was supposed to go to Seychelles and everything. I was out of the country for New Year's. And so I came back into the country on the 2nd of January. So I can say technically in 2020, I was in Costa Rica, but that's about it.
Hey, it's better than what I got out of 2020.
Yes. So my one last question for you is, a huge part of what we're doing here is this wellness, what I'm calling this wellness revolution for women of color. And it's really helping women of color get to the point where they're unrooting, their past traumas, they're unrooting what's been holding them back so they can get to their authentic selves and live the life that they truly desire and deserve. What advice would you give to your younger self to be a part of this movement and kind of be living your authentic self?
I say this all the time. My main advice to my younger self is just share your life, right? You are unique. God placed you on this earth for a reason. You have no business trying to be like everybody else. You have something that other people need. So don't stop holding yourself back. Stop pleasing everyone, right? And the more you please other people, the more you lose who you are. You lose your identity. And our purpose is rooted in our identity. If you don't know who you are, unless you discover who you are, you're going to feel very lost in this world. So, yeah.
And make sure to dance.
And dance. Dance, right?
Dance until you can't dance no more. Thank you so much again for being on the show. And I look forward to having you guys join us this week in our dance challenge. Other than that, I will talk to you guys later.
Awesome. See you guys later.
Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.